Ignatius of Loyola's Spiritual Exercises, a guidebook for the soul, offers a transformative journey into the depths of human experience, aligning with the divine will. Join us as we uncover the wisdom that continues to shape lives and inspire spiritual revolutions even today. In 1521, a cannonball shattered the leg and dreams of Inigo Lopez de Loyola, a soldier driven by glory. Confined to a sickbed, Ignatius found solace in the lives of saints, sparking a profound conversion. Renouncing his former life, he embraced poverty and prayer, sowing the seeds of the spiritual exercises. The cannonball became a metaphor for the shattering of his ego, paving the way for spiritual rebirth. The spiritual exercises are a rigorous spiritual bootcamp, guiding individuals through deep introspection, prayer, and discernment. Through Ignatian contemplation, participants engage with biblical narratives, igniting the senses and awakening the heart. The exercises challenge individuals to confront their deepest fears and desires, embracing their true selves in the presence of God. Before his transformation, Ignatius was a man of the world, consumed by wealth and status. Bedridden after a cannonball injury, he immersed himself in the lives of Christ and the saints, igniting a spark within his soul. As Ignatius healed, he renounced his former life, embracing the humble garb of a pilgrim. He embarked on pilgrimages, seeking solace in solitude and subjecting himself to rigorous penances. In the cave of Manresa, he experienced profound spiritual awakening, sowing the seeds of the spiritual exercises. The spiritual exercises emerged from years of Ignatius's introspection, prayer, and experimentation. What began as a personal journal evolved into a structured guide for spiritual growth, a roadmap for deepening one's relationship with the divine. The spiritual exercises, a 30-day retreat, demand rigorous self-examination and a willingness to confront one's depths. Structured around 4 weeks, each day involves prayer, reflection, and spiritual direction. The exercises train the soul, much like a soldier trains for battle, seeking alignment with God's will. The 4 weeks of the spiritual exercises lead individuals on a transformative journey from darkness to light. Week 1, confronting brokenness and sinfulness, fostering humility and longing for healing. Week 2, immersing in the life of Christ, igniting a desire to follow in his footsteps. Week 3, meditating on Christ's passion, embracing suffering as a path to redemption. Discernment of spirits is a key aspect of the spiritual exercises, deciphering the subtle movements of the soul. Ignatius identified the good spirit leading towards God and the evil spirit tempting away from God. Discernment is a lifelong practice, refining our ability to listen to the whispers of the spirit amidst life's noise. The Ignatian method, a living tradition, continues to inspire and transform lives. Practices like the examine and finding God in all things cultivate attentiveness and gratitude. Ignatius's legacy is about embracing a way of life, finding God in everyday experiences, and making a meaningful contribution to the world. The spiritual exercises became a cornerstone of the Jesuits, shaping their identity and mission. Jesuits underwent the full 30-day retreat multiple times, ingraining Ignatian spirituality in their hearts. This rigorous training equipped them to become formidable forces for evangelization, education, and social justice. The 16th century was an era of profound transformation, marked by exploration, conquest, and religious upheaval. The Catholic Church, grappling with the challenges of the Protestant Reformation, found in the Jesuits a powerful force for renewal and expansion. The exercises, with their emphasis on finding God in all things and their practical approach to navigating the complexities of life, resonated deeply with people from diverse backgrounds, from illiterate peasants to powerful monarchs. The Jesuits understood that true conversion was not just about intellectual assent, but about transforming hearts and minds. Their influence extended far beyond the pulpit. They established schools and universities that became renowned for their academic excellence, attracting some of the brightest minds of the era. They served as advisors to kings and queens, shaping policies and influencing the course of history. The Jesuit missions, often undertaken in perilous and unfamiliar territories, stand as a testament to the power of the exercises to inspire courage, resilience, and a deep commitment to social justice. They learned the languages and customs of the people they sought to serve, advocating for their rights and working tirelessly to improve their lives. However, the Jesuit story is not without its complexities and controversies. Their close ties to colonial powers, their role in the Inquisition, and their sometimes uncompromising approach to evangelization continue to be debated by historians and theologians alike. The legacy of the spiritual exercises extends far beyond the confines of the Catholic Church and the Society of Jesus. Their influence can be traced through centuries of history, shaping the lives of individuals from all walks of life, from kings and queens to artists and activists. One notable example is St. Francis Xavier, a close companion of Ignatius and a pioneer of Jesuit missions in Asia. Xavier, deeply formed by the spiritual exercises, embarked on a remarkable journey that took him to India, Japan, and the islands of Southeast Asia, where he preached the gospel with unwavering zeal and compassion. Another prominent figure touched by the exercises was René Descartes, the renowned French philosopher and mathematician. Although not a Jesuit himself, Descartes underwent the spiritual exercises and credited them with helping him to develop his rigorous method of philosophical inquiry. The impact of the exercises can also be seen in the realm of education. Jesuit schools and universities founded on the principles of Ignatian pedagogy have long been recognized for their commitment to academic excellence, social justice, and the holistic formation of students. Today, the spiritual exercises continue to be a source of inspiration and guidance for individuals seeking spiritual growth and a deeper connection with God. They have been adapted and reimagined for contemporary audiences, offering a timeless path for navigating the complexities of life and discovering meaning and purpose in a world often characterized by fragmentation and uncertainty. In today's hyper-connected world, where information flows at lightning speed and distractions lurk around every corner, it might seem counterintuitive that an ancient spiritual practice like the spiritual exercises could find relevance. Yet, it is precisely in this frenetic age, marked by anxiety, uncertainty, and a longing for meaning, that Ignatius's insights have found a new audience. The exercises, once confined to monasteries and retreat centers, have entered the digital realm, making them more accessible than ever before. Mobile apps like Pray As You Go and Reimagining the Exam offer guided meditations, daily reflections, and interactive tools to help individuals integrate Ignatian principles into their daily lives. These digital platforms, far from diminishing the depth and rigor of the exercises, have made them more approachable for a generation accustomed to consuming information through screens. They provide a structured framework for spiritual growth, offering bite-sized insights, reminders, and prompts that can be easily integrated into busy schedules. The digital revolution has also fostered a sense of community among those practicing Ignatian spirituality. Online forums, social media groups, and virtual retreat experiences allow individuals from all over the world to connect, share their experiences, and support one another on their spiritual journeys. while the full 30-day retreat experience of the spiritual exercises remains a powerful and transformative practice. The principles of Ignatian spirituality have permeated various aspects of modern life, offering practical tools for personal growth, leadership development, and even corporate culture. The concept of discernment of spirits, once primarily associated with religious contexts, has found new life in secular settings. Business leaders, entrepreneurs, and even artists are discovering the value of Ignatian discernment in making decisions, navigating complex challenges, and staying true to their values in the face of pressure and uncertainty. The emphasis on finding God in all things has resonated with those seeking a more holistic and integrated approach to life. Mindfulness practices, rooted in the Ignatian tradition, are being incorporated into workplaces, schools, and healthcare settings, helping individuals to cultivate greater self-awareness, reduce stress, and find meaning and purpose in their daily activities. Even the practice of Ignatian contemplation, which involves using the imagination to enter into biblical narratives, has found modern applications. Therapists are using this technique to help clients process trauma, explore their inner world, and connect with their own stories in more profound ways. What accounts for the enduring appeal of Ignatian spirituality in the 21st century? Why, in an age often characterized by skepticism and secularism, do people continue to find meaning and guidance in the writings of a 16th century mystic? Perhaps it is because, at its core, Ignatian spirituality speaks to the universal longings of the human heart, the desire for meaning and purpose, the yearning for connection and belonging, and the search for a love that transcends the limitations of human experience. Ignatius, through his own life and writings, offers a path that embraces both the complexities of human nature and the transformative power of faith. He invites us to confront our shadows, to embrace our vulnerabilities, and to discover the divine spark that resides within each of us. In a world often characterized by fragmentation and uncertainty, Ignatian spirituality offers a sense of wholeness and integration. It invites us to find God not just in moments of quiet contemplation, but in the midst of our everyday lives, in our relationships, our work, and our encounters with the world around us. The legacy of Ignatius is not about adhering to a rigid set of rules, but about embarking on a journey of ongoing conversion, a process of continual growth and transformation that leads us ever closer to the heart of God and to the fullness of our own humanity. Shadows of Suspicion, Historical Scrutiny, and the Exercises. Ignatius of Loyola, despite his profound spiritual insights and the enduring legacy of the spiritual exercises, was not immune to the scrutiny and suspicion that often accompanied religious innovation, especially during the tumultuous era of the Reformation. The exercises, with their emphasis on subjective experience, personal discernment, and the potential for mystical encounters, raised eyebrows within certain circles of the Catholic Church, leading to accusations of heresy and even a brush with the Inquisition. One of the primary points of contention centered around the concept of discernment of spirits. Critics argued that this method, which relied heavily on personal interpretation of inner feelings and impulses, could be easily misinterpreted or even manipulated by individuals prone to spiritual delusion, or worse, influenced by demonic forces. The emphasis on subjective experience, they feared, could lead individuals astray from the established doctrines and authority of the Church. The exercises were also viewed with suspicion by some within the Church hierarchy who saw in them a potential threat to their authority. The emphasis on personal discernment and the direct relationship between the individual soul and God, they feared, could undermine the traditional role of priests and bishops as intermediaries between humanity and the divine. The fact that Ignatius himself had no formal theological training and had developed the exercises outside of established academic institutions further fueled suspicions. His methods, rooted in personal experience rather than theological scholarship, were seen by some as unorthodox and potentially dangerous. The Mind's Labyrinth: Psychological Critiques and Modern Concerns. The spiritual exercises, with their emphasis on introspection, self-examination, and the exploration of the inner world, have also attracted scrutiny from psychologists and secular thinkers. While acknowledging the potential benefits of such practices for fostering self-awareness and personal growth, some have raised concerns about the potential for psychological harm, particularly for individuals with pre-existing mental health conditions. One of the most common critiques, often levied from a Freudian perspective, is that the exercises, with their focus on sin, guilt, and the need for spiritual purification, could exacerbate feelings of shame and self-loathing, particularly in those with a history of trauma or abuse. The emphasis on self-denial and the subjugation of personal desires, some argue, could be psychologically damaging, leading to repression and an unhealthy detachment from one's own needs and emotions. Others have expressed concerns about the potential for the exercises to foster a dependence on external authority, particularly within the context of a directed retreat setting. The role of the spiritual director, while intended to provide guidance and support, could in some cases lead to an unhealthy reliance on the director's interpretations and judgments, potentially inhibiting the individual's own sense of agency and autonomy. Modern adaptations of the exercises, particularly those marketed towards corporate audiences and stripped of their original religious context, have also drawn criticism. Some argue that these secularized versions, often framed as tools for enhancing productivity and leadership skills, risk trivializing the depth and spiritual significance of Ignatius's insights. The focus on achieving worldly success, they argue, is at odds with the exercise's original intent of fostering detachment from earthly pursuits and a deeper connection with the divine. The enduring flame of Ignatius's vision. As we've journeyed through the centuries, tracing the impact of Ignatius of Loyola's spiritual exercises, one thing becomes undeniably clear: their flame has never been extinguished. From the battlefields of 16th century Europe to the digital landscapes of the 21st century, the exercises continue to offer a path for souls seeking depth, meaning, and a profound connection with the divine. While controversies and critiques have inevitably arisen, the exercise's enduring relevance speaks volumes. In an age often characterized by fragmentation, distraction, and a relentless pursuit of external validation, Ignatius's call to inward exploration remains as radical and as necessary as ever. The exercises, far from being a relic of the past, offer a timeless blueprint for navigating the complexities of the human experience. The exercises' enduring power lies not in their adherence to dogma, but in their invitation to encounter the divine within the crucible of one's own experience. They challenge us to move beyond superficiality, to confront our shadows with honesty and courage, and to embrace the transformative power of vulnerability. Ignatius understood that true freedom is not found in escaping the world or denying our humanity, but in aligning our will with the divine will. This alignment, he believed, could only be achieved through a process of rigorous self-examination, a willingness to confront our deepest fears and desires, and a relentless pursuit of truth. A call to adventure, answering the exercise's challenge. The spiritual exercises are not a passive set of doctrines to be memorized, but a call to action, an invitation to embark on a daring adventure of the soul. They challenge us to move beyond the confines of our comfort zones, to question our assumptions, and to embrace a life of greater purpose and meaning. Whether one chooses to undertake the full 30-day retreat, explore the exercises through digital platforms, or simply incorporate elements of Ignatian spirituality into daily life, the invitation remains the same: to embark on a journey of self-discovery, to cultivate a more profound relationship with the divine, and to become a force for good in the world. The exercises challenge is not for the faint of heart. They demand honesty, courage, and a willingness to confront the depths of our own being. Yet within this crucible of self-discovery lies the potential for profound transformation, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. In a world often starved for meaning, authenticity, and genuine connection, the spiritual exercises offer a beacon of light, a path towards a more fulfilling and purposeful life. They remind us that the journey of faith is not a solitary one, but a shared pilgrimage, a collective striving towards a world transformed by love, compassion, and a deep reverence for the sacredness of all creation. The question Ignatius posed centuries ago still echoes today. What have I done for Christ? What am I doing for Christ? What ought I to do for Christ? May we, inspired by his example and guided by the wisdom of the spiritual exercises, find the courage to answer this call with our whole hearts, dedicating our lives to the pursuit of truth, justice, and a love that knows no bounds.